That country accent. No, I don't. That's like Louisiana people.
Okay,
So you
I do think we are live, so if you wanna
don't. Ah,
go
yes, I'll
ahead
do
and
the
get it
intro.
started. Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Overwatch Oasis. This is Tier 3, Week 2. We got Team Rocket versus Tater Tots. Uh, I believe Team Rocket starting off 0-1 in the season. They lost to, arguably one of the strongest teams, Nova. And, of course, we got Tater Tots winning against Cosmic Omnics 3-1, so both teams looking strong. They put up, especially since they're playing Nova, Team Rocket, they put up a pretty good performance. Anyways, that's me, CB, on the cast here with Kirby. Say hello.
Thank you, and I will be the actual caster this time around, so you'll get to see my camera angles. And yeah, you said it, Team Rocket, they lost to a strong team in Nova last week. They were banging on all cylinders. I mean, they looked good. Skyrippa and Cloud Lemon already look like front runners for their respective roles in MVPs. Like, they are looking excellent. And Team Rocket, they had some good moments as well. They were able to win Hollywood. I will say a lot of their other maps in that game were not particularly close. And as for Taters, they looked really good against Cosmic Omnics, a team that did struggle, but definitely a lot of definitely shattering expectations here for this Taters team.
Yeah, and you said it. And now we see both teams with the pharmacy comp. I believe the Ryan, no, Reese Hog on the side of Team Rocket. So Taters, my bad. So that's interesting. Anyways, yeah, we got the Ryan Brawl, although Haley gonna be taking out Maka first. So that is a pretty big pick unless the Mercy can get a res here, but no. Juno falls. Emmy's Immortality Field already being expended, but they're already down a lot, so yeah, it should be them winning the fight here.
And it was really unfortunate because Mako goes down there early, and Juno tried to get the res, but I think the death spot was still up in the air, and Juno fell quicker than the cast time allows, and it didn't get that res. That could have been a huge, X factor in that fight to maybe have that far on the other side to be able to pepper in that damage, but XLR had free reign.
Yeah, and we do see a swap actually. Maka going on to the Ashe, and already, right off the bat, get a pick from Yuki, but XLR trading that out with a couple. PowerPoint getting on the action, and very decisive fight right there, thanks to the help of XLR.
Yeah, and they've already got a nice ultimate advantage coming up. They only had to use the amplification matrix to win that fight. PowerPoint has that whole hog available, can push him right off a choke, and both of the DPS ults. We already see PowerPoint going for a flank. We'll see what he wants to do with this ultimate.
Yeah, that flank is going to be kind of nasty. We'll see. And we do see the Mongo going down, actually. Should stave him off the attack for just a little bit. Yuki, yet again, first pick of the fight, gets rezzed out by Moosh. PowerPoint, though, getting Maka. That's a very nice pick, but the Rip Tire coming in. Yuki only catching and Haley trading that out. Visor coming through. Yet again, first pick goes in favor of Taters, and yeah, it's doesn't work out in their favor.
And it's huge for PowerPoint to get that hook onto Maka up on the high ground. It just gave so much. It lessened the impact that Ashe from that high ground can create, and it allowed Team Rocket to go forward and use their ultimates.
Yeah, Shatter goes through, but it's going to be Shuya actually going to be falling. Here comes the Diva Bomb. Doesn't catch much. And now Yuki on that Kree now. Finding a pick onto PowerPoint. There goes one of the tanks gone already. Although, getting traded out. Kitty getting demeched right there. It's just an all-out brawl, and the point overtime is already started, so one misstep can cost them the fight. Yuki, another pick. Can it be enough to turn it? Bob coming through. He's gonna do a lot of damage, especially with that immortality field falling. And finally, point does get flipped. They're able to clutch it out.
And it was close to being flipped in the favor of Team Rocket. BX Hunter playing around his shield in the sightlines really well and providing a lot of healing, but it was Yuki Ishida on the flank finding the picks. He definitely is one of their best players, picked up last year. Really made a difference for this team late in the season, and hopefully he can do the same this season.
And we do see a lot of ults coming through, actually, in favor of Team Rocket. So we'll see what they can do with these. Here comes the Bongo, right off the bat. Bongo Visor combo, Window being dropped as well, but Shuya yet again falling first. Haley gonna be finding a pick on the mech and the kill on the Baby Diva. They're just expending all of their ults right now. Whole hog, push him off the point, high noon. Nice flank noon catching XLR, but it's not gonna be enough. And that should be a 1 point, although the Wrecking Ball does stall. A couple of stallers here to spin to win right now. They do fall eventually, and yeah, that is gonna be it. No, okay, yeah, now it's gonna be.
Juno did almost touch, but that was just unfortunate, you know, with the team comp that Taters had. They were running with the Sigma Diva. That's just not a lot of shielding for that tack visor coming out from Haley. Gets a lot of value out of that, and you know, just getting those initial picks was huge for this Team Rocket team, because you know they've been looking strong so far here, and once they find those opening picks, they're looking good.
Absolutely, and now going into the classic lighthouse here on Ilios. It's a bit of a different point than Ruins. You know, you got more boopable spots, so maybe you can make a hog work here as well. Yeah, we do see a hog actually for this side, and a hog's are, yeah. They're TPing straight onto point. Maybe both teams. Yep, both teams going straight onto the point. One team takes the high ground. Moosh.
Oh no! They have the sim set up on point though. That there might still be a slight advantage here for Team Rocket.
Yeah, they have the positional advantage, and that's really all you need. They were able to get to the point first, and a nice hook onto Shuya by power point. That is kind of nasty.
And it's one of those things, you know, if you're gonna run a sim comp on these control points, you have to be quick on the rollouts, and it took them an extra additional second to get to the point. That positional advantage went to Haley, and that they just couldn't attack the point the same way.
Yeah, and now it's just extremely tough to push into this, especially if you don't really have much to deal with the sim turrets. It's gonna be kind of frustrating, and there's a hook. Doesn't find much, though I think the wall protected him just a little bit. TP does get dropped, but it's just a TP bomb. And Yuki actually getting the first pick, but I mean this position for the side of Team Rocket is a little too strong for them to break at the moment.
And yeah, I mean, not PowerPoint being incredibly good with these hooks right now, finding the players that are trying to go aggressive to find those picks. He's doing an excellent job right now.
Yeah, that sim is fully. Oh, that's BM. They just shatter the dying hog, and yeah, it is just cleanup at this point. They need to go some sort of spam in order to deal with the sim, I believe.
Yeah, they're still trying to run the sim themselves. They tried some of those, you know, teleporter strats where they try and, you know, throw the turrets in, but wasn't good enough. They have a lot of ultimates. Both teams are coming up on a wide variety of ults. We might see a triangle fest here, and we'll see if Team Rocket can close it out.
Yeah, and already you got about like 4 ults being dropped, make that 5. Everything in the kitchen sink's being thrown into this fight, but it's gonna be Team Rocket coming out with the picks here. So I mean, at this point, this is the final fight here. I mean, Haley just getting so many picks of the sim, fully charged up sim, just so much work, and yeah, they aren't gonna touch. They will not touch, and Team Rocket wins that.
And really unfortunate there from Red Hood Kitty. She had a lot of people in her grab, but it was right on that front wall at the point. So like, they Team Rocket basically were protected from any damage just by the environment. So that could have been a huge turning point, and especially that the amplification matrix could have easily have been kited, but it wasn't enough. That grab was their best chance, I think, and again, decent execution in terms of getting a lot of players in, but just not in the right spot.
Yeah, and I don't know, that lighthouse round looked pretty decisive for Team Rocket, so it's looking a bit shaky right now for Tater Tots. Let's see if they can bounce back on our next map coming up soon. As soon as we get lineups and readies, of course, you know how the system works. But next map, I believe,
Blizzard World.
Blizzard World, yes. Also, hello chat. I saw the messages. How y'all doing? I am doing fine. It's just a little tired after work, but that's all good. Yeah, if I am Tater Tots here, there's a little bit of a compositional mismatch going on in some of these fights. It seems like they don't know what to play most of the time. Like, you see a lot of swaps coming through from the DPS and the tanks, and they haven't really stuck to one specific lineup and comp and just ran with it the whole time.
I will say I think maybe they gave up a little too soon on the Pharah there on Ruins. I think they could have tried to match XLAR and see if they could get value. I mean, yes, Haley was obviously on the Soldier, but Yuki was also on the McCree, so you can make that work. Having the Pharah and the hit scan versus the Pharah and the hit scan. If your Pharah is good enough, they can elevate beyond the threat of the hit scan on the other team. So, yeah, I would definitely agree. I think they need to commit to better team comps here for Tater Tots.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's a compositional mismatch, right off the bat, obviously switch. But, yeah, I mean, in any case, I think that's what they need to do to bounce back. And yeah, you're completely right. I think the Pharah was a good option. They just, I guess, didn't expect the Soldier just beam them down so quickly.
Yeah, and Team Rocket looking real coordinated right now. Like they were obviously, other than Moosh accidentally falling off the map, that was unfortunate. But they on Lighthouse, they immediately got set up. They were doing a great job at playing the sight lines, not PowerPoint or PowerPoint now. He officially is PowerPoint now. He was finding the hooks on all the players that he could. He must have had at least above a 50% hook accuracy, if not more. He was hitting everything, and yeah, we'll see if they want to continue with this lineup or if we'll see some swaps.
Also, very shout out to PowerPoint for getting the promotion from not to PowerPoint.
Yes.
It's a very big step in the career.
He went from Google Slides to the official Microsoft PowerPoint. We're not sponsored by either of those things, by the way.
Not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor us and pay us money, we'll take it. We will yoink your money and shamelessly sell out.
It's rather unfortunate. It does look like, at least for the moment, Brow Daddy is not here. So definitely a player that has been, a staple of this team for multiple seasons now. It'll be interesting that they obviously won that first map, but will they possibly be missing some of his leadership down the line? We'll have to see.
Yeah. Also, we see Rappy coming in. That's a, if you know, you know, but it is a fan favorite amongst another server, but we won't talk about that. Rappy is Rappy in Oasis, but we'll see what he can bring to the table. His DPS, he's pretty good. Not gonna lie, his hit scan, kind of nasty.
Yeah, and he was playing pretty well in the game against Nova. I mean, can't really blame the DPS on Team Rocket against Nova. They actually did hold their own. I don't think you can point to one role that got severely outplayed by Nova. It was just overall the team play from Nova was just stronger. So looks like they're shoring that up a little bit here against Tater Tots. Hopefully they can continue to show it on these attack defense style game modes, which sometimes, you know, teams will look strong on control but then struggle on the other game modes.
Yeah, and already Twitch chat simping over Rappy, so let's go. But yeah, I mean, Blizzard World is a different beast. Like Blizzard World, Assault, well, I guess the game modes in general. Control is the outlier, kind of, because you're not really capturing a point or pushing a payload. It's literally King of the Hill, so it plays completely different. So yeah, exactly, right on the dot right there. Yeah,
as for Tater Tots, they're going to bring in Molotov, who actually looked pretty good in their debut match. Had some really nice synergy with Red Hood Kitty on their first couple of maps. I'm excited to see them continue to play because I think they have a lot to show.
Yeah, that's and yeah, Tamer also, or Barry Sackman also going on tank. So two pretty strong tank lanes. We'll see what they can do. Blizzard World is kind of a weird one because it feels like every single main tank and off tank is viable in its own playstyle. It's just how you play around it. So it's a different beast than most of the hybrid maps, I would say.
Yeah, because you can run double shield. You can set up on those high grounds or even right next to the point. You can play dive because there's long sight lines to get through, and it's good to traverse that ground quickly, as well as playing rush brawl comps and taking the rotations through the attractions and the indoor sections to avoid the spam. There definitely is a lot of things you can run on Blizzard World. You can run double birds. You can run like Tracer. It's always interesting. I feel like I'm a little. I tend to like Blizzard World a little more than I feel like the community does because for that reason, I think there's a lot of different things that you can run. Okay, and it looks like we are ready to go.
Yeah, on that note, I do agree. Blizzard World does get a lot of hate, even though I think it's a pretty decent hybrid map. Couple things that I would change, like second point, but I mean, other than that, it's pretty solid. But we'll see what the teams bring out for us. Defense, honestly, I'm kind of expecting either a Rheinlook or a double shield. That's usually the standard for defenses on this map. And,
although on that first map we did see BX Hunter playing a lot of Orisa, so perhaps we see some double shield comps as well. Although Barry Sackman was playing a lot of D.Va in their first game. Ooh, they're actually looking at maybe a pulled pork look. Interesting.
That is interesting. I mean, like I said, you can get away with pretty much any tank line here. Maybe not defense with dive, but you can kind of make it work. But I do like the hog here. If you can find your hooks, land them, get your picks, hog can do some work. You can take people off high grounds, catch people who are lacking a little behind if they're trying to take the stairs. It's not a bad hero on this map. Oh, Torb.
Yeah, especially you could use the hooks to hook the D.Va from the high ground and take advantage of that, because that's what it looks like Tater Tots are gonna run, and they're actually gonna run the double hit scan here. Interesting with the BAP. We'll have to basically running like triple hit scan right now, so they're gonna want to. I actually don't know about this because they've got like brawl style tanks, but they got like range DPS, so we'll see if this works.
Yeah, I think they were expecting maybe a Pharah because Pharah is pretty strong on both attack and defense. And right now that turret is spamming away, but it's not gonna live long. It's not in the most optimal position, but
Ooh, whoopsies. Oh, crap. I have to apologize.
all good. You know, at least we know it works. I do like this off angle though. Haley is playing behind these boxes here, spamming away while Pog tries to find these hooks on the other side. So see if they can poke them out from range. I think that's the plan. Is maybe find a pick or something. Nope, they're rushing straight in. They're going. We'll see what they can do. They're taking the space here. Barrier already destroyed. And the window already built up. The pin coming through. Catches Cat, but Yuki is gonna pay for it. Barry finding the pick.
Oh, he's got two.
Oof. That Barry is kind of popping right now, and already the visor built by Rappy, doing all that spam damage. Maybe was not necessary, but Haley, 3K casual on Torb. You know?
Sometimes I think in those situations you just kind of want to flex a little bit, like, yeah, you got your ult first, well, I got my ult pretty quick too, so I'm gonna win the fight with it. But that was basically Barry Sackman going on a nice flank and finding the picks. Again, it's good Roadhog play coming out from Team Rocket right now. That's definitely been the difference maker in this game so far.
Yep, and they're trying yet again. Oh my gosh, nice hook from Barry catching Emmy on the rotation. I would be very hesitant to push now, losing your Baptiste. See what they decide to do.
They're kind of caught at Flight of Duskwood. They have no choice but to just sit there and wait for Emmy to come back. And Emmy's going to switch to the Ana here, so we'll see. Maybe trying to get some more consistent healing onto the D.Va definitely can be a little tricky sometimes to heal the D.Va as a BAP.
Yeah, and a nice anti, catching a few people on the high ground. Won't lead up too much, but IQ getting caught out by Barry. That is yet again another nice hook. It seems like they can't really do much about it. They're just kind of sitting ducks most of the time. Res coming through, but oh, the tank falling super duper low. Yuki almost down. Bongo being dropped. It's gonna be Haley catching one right off the bat. With the shatter coming through though from Yuki, it ain't gonna be much because Pro killing him with the nade.
Yeah, and then Team Rocket, they held on to 2 ults, and Rappy's almost at another tack visor, so they're gonna have 3. This is gonna be rough for Taters right now with only the self-destruct and the Bob to their name. And I mean, with that Molten Core, it's just gonna be so tough to engage here.
Yep, a nice hook to already kind of set the tone for what's about to happen. I guess Barry is giving him a little hint. And now, very little time remaining. You have to push into all these ultimates. And it's kind of scary if you're Tater Tots. You're not really sure what to do at this point. You just kind of have to go. And it tries to pin in. Doesn't catch much. Bomb for another initiation. Only catching the turret, and the Molten Core coming through with the visor. The nano visor, you love to see it. Rappy catching 2. It's a even fight right now. It's a 2v2, I believe. It's just a tank and an Ana versus 2 tanks. No healing. We'll see who wins this one out.
Oh!
Yuki falling. Nasty sleep. Oh, that's so close. They just gotta kill one more.
IQ Simple back on the Doom.
Touching. The res from Isabella coming through. It's still anyone's fight here. You got a healer, but a nice nade. This could turn the fight here. IQ Simple though, catching one Barry though, still popping on that hog. Bongo coming through. That's a lot of damage, and Rappy is capitalizing on it with the turret and with the whole hog. This should be all she wrote, and it is. Nice try.
I mean, when you don't take out the Roadhog, that's just gonna happen. I don't know how many times Barry died there. It did not seem like a lot, you know, especially considering that, you know, Roadhog is one of the most vulnerable tanks. You'd think you'd want to put a higher priority on him. Like, especially as a team, make sure you're calling out when he's using the breather, when he's used the hook, stuff like that. There was a good play from Isbelia where they waited until after the hook came out to get the res, and that almost turned around the team fight. But yeah, Barry Sackman, what else can you say? Just free reign, just get all the hooks that they want in the world.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, Roadhog is not exactly, but kind of like Azaria, where that is your first priority to kill, especially if Azaria's charged up, because the longer Azaria and Hog lingers around, the more chances they could just kill something and turn a fight. So we'll see what this attack has in store for us for Team Rocket. We'll see if they can do it, or maybe, just maybe, Taters can get an even fuller hold.
Yeah, they actually can still win the map if they get the fuller hold. They got 96%, and it was unfortunate. They almost got enough. Team Rocket were just barely able to recontest there.
Yeah, and a very similar looking defense to what Team Rocket ran. We'll see if they can do anything with this look. We do have the Hog and the Ryan Sim TP straight onto point. We'll see what that can do. Actually, not onto the point, to the high ground. Not finding much, but just taking that positioning. Rappy already with a pick on the Maka. So, it's looking a bit rough already with Haley looking fully charged up. And Barry doing that damage. I mean, the anti-nade as well. This is just it. This is GG.
Yep. I don't think anyone's going to be able to contest here. And I mean, yeah, Tater's just got to find a way to counter this Sim. They've been absolutely melted by it so far. Just not able to coordinate their efforts to take him down, but you got to give Team Rocket a lot of credit. That was an excellent teleport right towards IQ Simple. He didn't know what was going to hit him, and they took him down quickly, forced him off the high ground, and they had the high ground control. That is the textbook definition of how you run one of these Sim compositions.
Yeah, it was a very impressive display, very decisive, I would say. And also, everyone's favorite, Rappy, getting play of the game right there. Yeah, it was also a very nice nade as well to set up just all the picks coming through at the end. They couldn't mitigate that with any healing.
Yeah, Professor Oak PhD got the support MVP last week. He played incredibly well, and certainly putting his hat in the ring for tonight as well, looking excellent once again.
Yeah, and we'll see. Maybe with that performance, they would want to keep Professor Oak on the Ana, and if they do, see if maybe perhaps they can get another support MVP. It's too early to tell, but you never know with these things. Now we'll take our business over to, I believe, next one is
Temple of Anubis. Yep. Then we go to Dorado for the fourth map, and if Taters are able to start this reverse sweep, we'll head to Lijiang for the tiebreaker.
Yeah, and I mean, if there's any, they have to start right here, right now. They have no other choice to try to turn it around. And Temple of Anubis is one of those that is very weird and very different from a lot of other maps. Mainly lots of spam if you're trying to defend here.
To be fair, what 2CP map doesn't have a lot of spam in it? Typically, but yes, Temple of Anubis is definitely the king in that regard. I mean, I would not be surprised if we see a Junkrat coming out here for Tater Tots. We'll see if, they get to start on the defense this time. We'll see if they can give themselves a good defense and, possibly get themselves back in the series. A lot of times, the craziness of 2CP is the exact thing you need to spark a reverse sweep. I mean, those respawns, the snowball potential. There's just a lot of things that can go right, and once you win a map, that is huge in terms of your momentum.
Yep, and not only your momentum, but it may even mentally boom a few other people on the other team. But in any case, we'll see what both teams can do here. like I said, I'm expecting the Junkrat, obviously. You know, is kind of the standard on defense. But another thing I also see a lot being ran on the defense is the Ashe. Like Ashe is actually pretty dang strong on this map as well.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see if they take advantage. A lot of high grounds, a lot of good spots for like the Mercy to hide to have an effective pocket. Like just, it's kind of one of those things where there's a lot of things that help the defense on both point A and point B. I will say though, as time goes on, it does feel like Anubis continues to trend towards being an attack oriented map. I don't know if that's just me, but like it feels like a lot of times you don't see a lot of full holes on point A anymore because there's so many ways to rotate and advantages that you can give yourself as the attackers as well.
Yeah, I mean, rather unfortunate that full hold did occur yesterday. Uh, but moving on from that, I do agree the attack does look very strong, especially if you opt to come out on this Pharah strategy. I mean, most teams would run some sort of hit scan to counter that, but if you play the sightlines correctly, Pharah can be super duper strong, even an Echo if you want to replace that. Put out so much damage and just build up your ult super quickly, and from there, you know, snowball potential.
We are actually going to see Haley swap to tank for the first time this season. Started to play tank last season. Started off as kind of like a ball specialist, but then actually did start to play a little bit more of that Rhine towards the end of the season, and it was kind of a meme for a while there. Haley was on. They would always play Haley on escort maps, and she was like undefeated on them for like 4 consecutive weeks. Even when they lost, they would still win the escort map that Ailey was in. That didn't last the whole season, but it was a funny thing. But I got to be honest, I was actually impressed with Haley's ball. I think her Rhine still had a ways to go, and we'll see what they want to play here. You know, if they want to go with a ball comp, we'll have to see. Team Rocket did try a little bit of dive last week on Hollywood, and it was a little mixed, but definitely a tank composition that I think they want to get, into their arsenal, to expand beyond what kind of they were running last year, where it was a lot of Ryan Zarya stuff.
Yeah, and Anubis, even though a lot of the time it does seem very compact and tight. Ball, especially on second point, if you can get the first point, second point for ball is actually pretty solid. Um, Maybe you won't see it on the defense, but I mean on the attack, ball is definitely viable. So we'll see what they do there. On the side of Tater Tots, though, we do have a new tank line of Shuya and Juno. First time we see Juno on tank today.
Yeah, and that's what I think they only played one map last week, and it was a tank map. So I might be wrong. They might have played a support map as well. I can't think off the top of my head, but yeah, we'll see that they're trying to find the tank composition that can work here. Hopefully, Shoya and Juno will be the one. Obviously, for those who don't know, Shoya is Disco, star support player for We the Ops and Cosmic Omnix last season. Recently picked up by this Tater Tots team. I think, it's looking like they're going to kind of transition more to being a tank player in Tier 3 and stick to support in Tier 2, so we'll see. Okay, and it looks like both teams are ready, so let's get into it.
Let's go.
One
And
thing,
yeah,
one thing I wanted to point out as well: Team Rocket running with a 48 lineup, 10 below the max, and we do see Taters right now running at the max with a 58. So, overall the Team Rocket team compositions have been relatively low numbers. I think their highest so far tonight has been a 54, but we'll see if they can win these maps with low rosters like this. Like, man, that's going to be huge, because that just shows that it's not all about the individual skill for them. It's about the team play, it's about the coordination, about the ult usage, it's about the team compositions. Definitely becoming, you know, more important as the seasons go on. You know, yeah, we're still a bunch of plats and golds, but if you want to continue to get better at a plat and gold level, you do need to get better at that macro stuff. And I think Team Rocket, you know, that they're really trusting themselves to be able to do that here with a lower lineup.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you do bring up. It does seem like Team Rocket is a very not very individualistic kind of team, but more of a team play. I do agree with that. And we do see the tank lineup for Tater Tots running out with the double shield. Make that triple shield if you count the Brig. But on the attack, we see Ryan, D.Va, and they're just rushing straight to the right, hoping the shield does not break on them. Managed to get up there.
Oh, not PowerPoint.
Oh my gosh,
oh my god, PowerPoint! I mean, when he's on the Widow, you just have to be careful. I mean, just look at this.
That is nasty.
Just waiting for that shield to go down.
That quick rotation right there, I guess, threw him off guard, and PowerPoint was able to get into position. Does get picked off though. Fight may not go their way, although Rappy trying their damnedest to turn it. That was a pretty crazy rotation from the Widowmaker, and it is going to be a one fight for Tater Tots though.
So what I was gonna bring up right off the bat is I don't know if I love the double sniper with the rush comp. Like, I just think that it limits the amount of aggression that your tanks can go, because it's you're playing with like slower DPS that are looking for the pick potential, and they want those long range sightlines. Yes, PowerPoint did make a nice play there to open up that team fight, but they were pretty vulnerable too. Juno took them out relatively quickly.
Yeah, that is a good point. You know, we do see the swap though from Rappy, switching up one of the hit scan, going to Junkrat, providing a little bit more shield break and spam there. See what they can do, although they might have to just wait a little bit longer because Yuki is just destroying them, taking out Hunter and Cat. And the tire on top of it. This is not necessary, but I respect the alpha play. Oh no! Oh no!
Yuki had about 1 second left on that that tire and was able to take out one. But and that's huge. They only had to use the tire to win that team fight. That now it seems like the script has been flipped. Like, look at Tater's got a bunch of ults coming up. They are looking in really good position to full hold, and now it's Team Rocket kind of at a loss. They're making a bunch of swaps here, going on to full dive.
That is a very interesting comp. It can work, although IQ Simple taking out PowerPoint right off the bat. The Flux does get dropped, catches a few in it, doing so much work here. And yet again, an aggressive attack just staved off, brushed away from Tater Tots.
And it's tough when you make these late swaps. You're just not sure if you're going to be able to get the ultimates. Like, yeah, PowerPoint is just going to swap off the Genji. I think they were hoping to maybe have a good team fight there and get close to the Nanoblade, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it in this last minute. So they're going to go with the double birds here, and they're already playing into the Soldier and the Orisa. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, the beat does get dropped right off the bat. Gets traded out with the Rally and the Valkyrie. So lots of sustain here. Nano on the Winston, gonna be challenged with the Bongo, getting taken out by Rappy though. A couple people on the point. Visor does get dropped. All the ultimates just getting thrown into the void here as Taters does get the picks. Should be winning out this fight with only a minute left.
Oh no! Moose tried to taxi the rest of their players back and fell to Juno. Great job by Juno. Good awareness and good aim to take out Moose. That is a massive pick.
Yeah, and they don't really have much to work with here other than their tank ultimates. It's not looking too great here. Bomb does get thrown. Can it combo into anything? The Primal trapping people. Does catch a few. Rappy getting one as well. The tire looking for a clutch, but it's not going to be enough. And it's looking like Team Rocket finally in OT cracking open first point.
Oh, that's brutal. I don't even think Yuki's tire got taken out. I think he got taken out before it could be launched. So really bad luck there from Yuki. That tire maybe could have turned it around for Taters and they could have preserved the full hold. But now Team Rocket, they get another chance here. Can they possibly snowball point B or even capture it at this point?
Yep, and that's a nice pick right off the bat. Rappy finding Yuki. And already a lot of the damage gone, so now this is the perfect time to push in. Switched off of the dive going on to the Orisa, and there it is, the barrage catching Emmy. Rappy is just doing so much work on here on this Pharah. Yuki gonna be catching Rappy, trading it out. It may not be enough though. There's one tick. Here comes the Flux.
Oh, hooked
Doesn't
out of it.
manage to get anything. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Nice hook. And it's now just the staggers coming through, hoping maybe some miracle play can happen, but no miracle will happen as the final tick trying to come through. It's just Shuya and Yuki on the point. Couple staggers still on there, trying to buy as much time as they can, but oh, a lot of staggers coming through. Maybe they can turn it, although the copy coming through from PowerPoint.
I don't know if there's enough ults coming up here for Taters. I don't think that maybe they can possibly get this to under a minute. That would be huge.
Yeah, they do find a pick though on the cat. That's a lot of healing gone. Res trying to come through, it does. They're burning so much time here. The tire actually finding Vap yet again. Yuki is just bullying Cat. And IQ Simple finding Haley as well. They managed to win the fight somehow.
Are they gonna turn it? Unbelievable. I mean, that Team Rocket really should have had that. That's just, you know, yes, it's a 2CP moment, but they need to make sure that they're focusing the right targets. They let Shoya live for way too long. They even have the Echo. Like, you can melt people down that are trying to recontest. That was definitely a little bit of an error there from maybe getting a little too excited, not communicating as effectively as they could.
Rappy popping that barrage as both birds finding a single pick, although Juno taking out Rappy in the process. And now it's just an all-out brawl. Who can crack first? Here comes the Diva Bomb, catching Haley, nowhere to run. And it's looking like Taters is gonna, oh my gosh, IQ Simple, the double pulse bomb. That's insane.
And it looks like they're gonna get the hold. Is anyone gonna be able to touch? I don't think so. Here comes Haley. Nope, doesn't make it. And yeah, a good play from IQ Simple there, sticking the Orisa there and getting Cat as well. So, okay, so some life here from the Taters. They definitely have a chance. It's definitely easier said than done sometimes to capture point B, especially if you have a similar situation that Team Rocket just experienced, where the staggers just come in. And it felt like just a bipolar map there. Like, you know, Taters dominating early, they almost get the full hold, but then they almost get snowballed on point B, and you're like, oh no, it can't end like this. But then they're able to recontest, get the picks, and hold B for the rest of the time. They didn't completely full hold it. They'll still need to get some progress on it in order to avoid the loss, but still, yeah, definitely a good chance.
As every rando in my games would say, winnable.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, if anytime, you know, you have a nice win condition set on point B of 2CP, you know, it's always going to be winnable in that aspect, just because of that respawn advantage. But it's just tough because when you get to a situation like that, you know, Taters, if they play their ultimates right, they'll win, you know, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, and on the bright side, we aren't going to see 8 CP, so that's always a joy. We do see a poke comp coming through from kind of poke spamish. You got PowerPoint on the Widow. coming through from Team Rocket, and PowerPoint already off the bat catching IQ Simple. I mean, that should already be it. They're still trying to rotate to the high ground, even though everyone is kind of dying. They should probably die quickly. And oh my gosh, PowerPoint is just literally spawn camping them.
Yeah, he continues to play well here. I'll have to see. Playing a rush comp here for Taters. But they got the Widow too. We'll see if Yuki Yoshida can take down PowerPoint. That'd be a huge play for them. But again, like just double hit scan with the rush comp. I'm not 100% sure.
Yep, and here comes the Riptire from Rappy. It's going to be taken out by Juno, so not finding any value there. PowerPoint actually going to be the first to fall. And here comes a Shatter, catching a few people right there. Shuya swinging away, catching Cat. And they're already on the point, getting 2 ticks right here. Shuya swinging away on Rappy. Just a few people left on the point, and Moosh, oh my gosh. This is going to be huge staggers actually. If they can capitalize on this, they can be able to rush the point and snowball this.
Yeah, and look at all the ults. You know, Yuki gonna swap to the Hanzo, but they almost have everything. If they want to initiate with the Nano here, they can get a really nice start. But BX Hunter has that supercharger that might be able to help them restabilize.
Yep, and yep, Hunter getting a few, as well as PowerPoint, just a nice little headshot. They do stabilize. Didn't have to waste any ultimates there, so good play. Actually, they used the walls.
And to be fair, you know, yeah, that one's not going to be too huge of an impact. Luckily, we didn't see any ultimates being used on the side of Tater, so they're still going to have 5 to their name coming up. This is, but I would say this is probably their best chance right now. They have a massive ult advantage. They just need to beware of not PowerPoint's Widow and make sure they don't get caught out by him.
Yep, and IQ Simple already right off the bat, and the nice shatter into Flux. It's gonna be catching a few people in the air. Juno getting Cat, and the Flux on the other side, not doing nearly as much damage, and Juno's just absolutely doing so much work onto this with the Sigma. A couple of kills getting traded out. They need to focus down some of these targets, although Rappy might turn this. IQ Simple, 2 kills with attack visor. See if they can do just a little bit more to help them at least get.
I don't know if this is gonna be enough.
It may not be. Got everyone coming through with the staggers, and yeah, that should be it. Not getting any ticks. That's rather unfortunate.
And again, just same thing with Team Rocket, is they just weren't all together on taking out the targets that they needed to. Like, I think not PowerPoint lasted a little bit too long on the high ground. He didn't get any additional picks, but still applying that pressure. Just a lot of players just staying alive for too long. And you know, Taters, they definitely have been so far the inferior team in terms of their team synergy in this match. And you know, if that comes back to bite them there, that was probably their best chance to take it. You know, if they're going to need to find something huge here in the last 3 minutes of this map to try and start this reverse sweep.
Well, they got 3 ults to work with here. We'll see if they initiate with Dragons or Flux. And already PowerPoint catching IQ Simple. I think a little bit of help thanks to the Wrecking Ball doing some damage there. Could be wrong, but Wrecking Ball just being an absolute menace right now. You'll love to see it. And here comes the window. Oh, a double pin? That's not something you see every day. Yuki does commit the dragon, only catching Cat. Not sure if that was the play, to be honest.
Maybe a swap coming here from Yuki. Maybe swap into like McCree or something for a stun. No, I'm going back to Junkrat actually.
Yeah, Junkrat might be good. You could set up a trap to, you know, stop maybe the ball or the Doomfist from engaging on your back line, as well as providing a lot of shield break onto the Rhine, putting a lot of pressure. See what they can do. And PowerPoint already with the slam in. IQ Simple didn't take it out. And here comes the Rappy Rip Tire catching Juno. Shatter did drop as well. A lot of ults expended. Rappy with 3 kills as well.
Man, this is starting to look a little dire here for the Taters. Another couple of their ultimates used, and still some ultimates on the board for Team Rocket, both the mines and the sound barrier. I mean, they don't have the sound barrier to counter the gravitic flux coming out from Juno. This is looking tough. Is Belia gonna swap to the Moira? They're gonna commit to more of like a brawly comp. I mean, they kind of already had one, but maybe a little bit more up close and personal, so that the Moira maybe synergizes a little bit better with this than the Ana.
Yeah, I also like how PowerPoint is just chilling on that high ground right there, just looking at them menacingly. They engage with the beat though. See if that can do anything. Here comes the Flux. Catches a few people in the air. Immortality Field was nicely placed. Saves a few. Rappy with the 2K. These past 3 fights has been doing absolute work on this Junkrat. And that should be yet another one fight with only 30 seconds remaining.
Oh, Yuki has the tire too. I don't know if they're going to be able to use it. Oh, hold on. Oh, nice job from Moosh to get that kill. That could have been huge. He almost got to some natural cover and maybe could have used that tire there. Now it's desperation mode here for Tater Tots. This is it. If they can't find something here, Team Rocket's going to take home the series.
Yep, Isabella off the bat with the orb kill, skill orb, nice. Meteor Strike does get dropped, so double skill orb, but Rappy with a 3K tire. That is an absolute clutch moment. It's a 3v3 on the point. Juno trying their hardest, but the spawns might come into play here.
Okay, this is where they need to be really coordinated. If they're really coordinated, they can get it. They just need to take down Haley. And BX Hunter's coming back too.
Haley falling super duper low. They just need to focus just a little bit more. Can they? Yuki catching PowerPoint. They're so close yet so far from this tick. IQ Simple coming through slamming, doing as much work as they can. Taking out a few. They have to find a couple more of these picks. It's just a Lucio, and they're able to clutch it up at the last second.
Oh my god. You know, you gotta feel bad for Team Rocket there, though. The first 2 picks, because of the skill orb, that is definitely tough. But that actually was pretty decent focus fire there from Taters. They did a much better job there. I was a little worried when Yuki used the tire there with only 2 people remaining. I think they could have taken those out and saved the tire for the recontest, but no, it ended up working out well, and Taters put themselves back in the series. And you know, it was going to be one of those things where both teams kind of were like, oh, we had this, you know, really bad moment where we weren't able to capture point B with like a multiple player advantage, and luckily it ended up working out for Taters anyway. But yeah, you're definitely going to be kicking yourself a little bit if you're Team Rocket, you know, being so close to capturing point B and not having not being able to take down the staggers.
Yep, rather unfortunate scenes from Team Rocket, but in any case, Tater Tots does take one map. It is 2-1. Maybe a little bit of reverse sweep action. You never know how some teams react to getting a map taken that perhaps they should have won. Yet again, I mean, it was so close to being swung into Team Rocket's favor as well with that final fight with the 3K tire from Rappy. Maybe one more kill would have won them the fight, perhaps, with not a lot of sustain left.
You know, it's one of those things where it's almost like sometimes with less people, it's a little bit easier to coordinate just those 3 people that are there, and that's kind of what we saw. Those last 3 players, I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was Yuki, IQ, and Juno, I want to say, was there.
Yeah, it was Juno.
They did a great job at focusing down the targets. They did a great job. They all were on the same ones, and it was a little scary when they didn't take out Haley right off the bat on the wrecking ball, but It ended up working out. Those kills that they got with just the three gave them just enough time to get the rest of their teammates back, and they were able to win the map with that.
Yeah, and it's clutch moments like those, back against the wall, looking dire. I mean, if you're able to do that, just clutch up a fight and maybe clutch up a map, like what we just saw, it can instill a lot of confidence in your team, and maybe start to breathe some more life into your comms and to your play in general. And yeah, we'll see what they're able to do on Dorado. Oh, and everyone is simping over taters right now. uh, you gotta love Twitch chat sometimes. Twitch chat.
I think a lot of people are going to be rooting for the Taters this year. They definitely came into this season as an underdog. They were really quiet in the off season. A lot of questions were even going around if they were going to participate this season, but they end up doing so, and then they make some nice pickups right before the season starts. IQ Simple, Red Hood Kitty. They bring in Shoya just this past week. Like they are kind of coming together with a sneaky nice team. They just kind of need to put it together. Obviously, we saw them put it together against Cosmic Omnics. Can they get the reverse sweep here against Team Rocket? That'd be a massive statement victory for this team. If they can get the reverse sweep here, that would change the narratives on this team just like that.
Yeah, and they would have to again win it here on Dorado and try to take them to the final map, which I believe it would be the fifth map would be Lijiang.
Yes,
Am I
yes.
correct? Okay, but they have to win Dorado first, and I believe they're defending again or attacking. I'm not sure. I think they're defending. We're waiting on the readies, guys, and we'll try to get
Technically,
you
we're
the
still
action.
waiting on the other the Taters lineup as well.
Oh, alright.
Probably pondering whether or not they want to keep this lineup in as well. That's definitely one of those conundrums that you find, especially if maybe a certain player hasn't gotten a lot of playing time. It's kind of like, God, do you want to keep the lineup that just won that map and is looking pretty good, or that's it's always tough. Personally, for me, I always like to, if you lost the first two maps and you win a map, um, then you win the third map. I think you should keep that lineup in and just try and roll with it for the entirety of the reverse sweep.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep the people who are hot right now. They're on fire. They got to keep that momentum going, and yeah, for sure, I 100% agree. It always puzzles me, whenever I see, um, whenever I see swaps on, particularly map fives in Overwatch League. Um, a player hasn't played the entire series, and it comes down to a map five, and they sub them in when they're cold. It always puzzles me why some teams do that, but um, hopefully Tater Tots does not get that idea in their mind and just sticks with
They are
what's working
making
right now.
a number of swaps, a lot of swaps actually. Yuki heading to tank. Kitty
Also
going
thank
back
you
to
for chat.
tank. IQ Simple
Right.
is gonna save, but Maka is gonna come in. Oh, and we are gonna see some Shoya support. Okay, so I think they like to play his tank because he's a little bit lower. I think he's what a 9 on tank. Yes, he's a 9 on tank, whereas he's an 11 on support. So, but if you watched We the Ops games last year, you know how much of a difference maker he was. One of the best supports at not only healing the team but providing damage and utility to the team as well. Really an underrated player that I still think gets kind of disrespected to this day. People seem to not think he's good, but man, I don't know. I got to be honest. I don't know what they were watching because when I was watching it, they were excellent.
So we got a lot of the Maka simps in the chat as well as the Rappy simps, and now we got a Shoya Simp as well. I respect it though. You know, supports, uh, especially in like league play, I feel like they don't really get the love that they deserve. You know, they provide you know, sustain obviously. They're the healers, but I mean, you see Ana's with the sleeps on the ultimates and the nades, as well as Baptiste placing windows strategically, can possibly win a team fight on their own. So supports, you know, I got your back. But yeah, we do have the swaps. We're just waiting.
Yep, and we got the readies as well. So here we go. Can Tater Tots do it? Can they continue the reverse sweep? We have not seen a reverse sweep in Tier 3 yet this season. I don't think we saw one in Tier 2 either. We almost saw one in the Pete's Planet versus Boomers R Us game. That was a really great game. But luckily, Pete's Planet were able to clutch it out on map 5 to avoid the reverse sweep. You know, it was kind of interesting seeing the first 2 seasons of Tier 3. We didn't see a lot of reverse sweeps at all. It definitely felt like once you had the momentum, it was hard to turn it around. But now, we actually saw quite a bit last season, and I think we're going to see plenty this season as well.
Yeah, and maybe this can be another, you know, the first of perhaps many. You never know. Although we're looking at the defense coming through from Taters, they do stick with the soldier. Although Maka on the Sombra can provide a lot of work here. Maybe not against the monkey. Who knows? We'll see what the Sombra can provide for this comp. I do like the setup here, though. We got the whole pork. I do like it.
Yeah, we'll see if Taters can have success on the Hog. They tried Shoya on the Hog on Ilios. Now we'll see if Yuki can get success on the Hog here, and if maybe we see we don't see not PowerPoint or Barry Sackman in, so maybe Hog out of the picture for Team Rocket.
Yeah, and pick onto the Pharah does get rezzed out. And we do see the Winston try to dive in, do a little bit of cleave damage onto the big group of people, and just try to build up that ultimate. That's what you really want Winston for on this composition. Get that ultimate, provide a lot of disruption. PowerPoint with that pick onto IQ Simple. Getting traded out, Yuki finding the nice shot onto PowerPoint. See what they can do. Maybe they can hold this here with that pick onto XLR with the Pharah. That could be enough to just hang on right here, just past Archway.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. It looked like XLR lost the Mercy there. It was trying to get in the back line and almost got some picks, but you know, sometimes that happens. The Pharah just gets a little overzealous.
Yeah, Hunter did pop that Primal Rage when pretty much the whole team decided to back out, so didn't get much value and have to wait just a little bit longer because of that.
Well, I think it might be acceptable in the sense that maybe they'll go for the Nano engage and get it back. No, they're actually going to Nano the Zarya. Interesting.
Yep, they popped both support ults. They already got 3 picks, and now it's Taters on the back foot. Just a few people left. IQ Simple gonna fall. It's just the Hog here. Just trying to get away. Run, Hog, run! Nope, does not get away. And that's first cap right there for Team Rocket.
And they'll have the Grav coming up. A lot of ults coming online for Taters as well. They'll have the big one, obviously, EMP, that can shut down the momentum right away. But even still, you know, with the dive, you know, it'll be interesting to see which targets Maka wants to EMP here. If he wants to just go ahead and EMP the tanks to make sure there's no dive attempt, or maybe they'll EMP the backline. We'll see.
Yeah, interesting conundrum for a Sombra here, especially when a team's kind of split like that. Oh, nice pick onto Pro. Might get rezzed, but it still stalls it out just a little bit. And a nice hook onto Hunter. Maka getting the final blow. No res for that one available. Now, it should just be cleanup at this point. Bro, taking one out before they get taken out by IQ. The walls do get popped, but I don't think that's really going to do much. Although, it's not a very, good ultimate.
Well, but then again, I mean, Sight's kind of a throwaway ult. Not entirely, but like, I especially at this tier, it's not gonna move the needle as much as a lot of the other ults.
Oh, that BM from Yuki. Oh, that is just disrespectful. Whole hogging the Widow only. And a lot of ults getting dropped from both teams here. XLR with that tire catching Maka. We'll see. That Winston is just doing an absolute, being an absolute menace in the backline to Shuya. Does catch him, but falling dangerously low. Can they get out? No. Yuki. Couple of final blows there. IQ Simple. Just doing a lot of work onto this Zarya, and yep, they get the pick. It's just PowerPoint, but gonna have to back out here.
Hold on. Both of the DPS have picks, and I think we're still seeing some members of Tater's kind of coming back. We'll see. It looks like Maka's gonna try and challenge the Widow here up on the high ground. Oh, PowerPoint
the Widow
wins
the 1v1. That SMG can do a lot of work if you get the nice RNG for the Bloom. IQ Simple just looking for picks in the backline. That Valkyrie does get popped from and it's going to be Hunter with the first pick. You got a tank and the Zarya down for the side of Taters. They're going to try to nano the hog here, try to make something work. That whole hog coming through, but no one can touch. That's XLR with a couple of picks to end the fight.
Yeah, and then we saw IQ Simple, not PowerPoint, kind of dueling there, not PowerPoint able to hold his own. Usually you give that edge to the Tracer, but he was doing an excellent job at, hitting shots on the Tracer as well as using the grapple hook to be very mobile and elusive. So kind of took IQ Simple out of that fight there.
Yep, and just as the last fight ended, it starts with XLR getting a pick onto Shuya. Yuki trading it out, both high value targets right there. And yeah, there's the Ana gone. IQ Simple just trying to be a menace, trying to take out this this Mercy. PowerPoint gonna be catching Maka, but still should be a one fight here as Shuya takes out PowerPoint.
Yeah, and we'll see the Team Rocket. They have a lot of ults coming up. Obviously, the Tater is going to be the big one. We'll see who they also want to nano as well. Maybe they nano the Zarya once again if they get high charge and hit a nice grab. We'll see. I think that'll be the key for this fight.
Yep, and the tire used, coming through from the bottom. Maka taking it out. Yuki, though, falling in the Baby Diva form. A nice pin and swings from Hunter. I mean, with that Zarya charged up as well, there's just so much damage being thrown in. Can they even touch this? It's gonna be up to Yuki. Shatter coming through, doesn't catch anything. Yuki manages to touch with the Mercy. Although Emmy getting taken out, not living for too long. Just a few more staggers that may... it's gonna be Hunter falling? Maybe this is turnable. Grab catches nothing though. Red Hood Kitty is charged up, but XLR's trap is gonna be set off in PowerPoint. Shooting IQ Simple right in the body. Can they res this up? They do. It's still just Stagger City right now. They're trying their damnedest to just turn this fight, taking out these last few. Nice freeze right there onto Haley. Doing a lot of damage. PowerPoint, no one dealing with him. Doing so much work here. I mean, it's just so close to being capped right now. Can anyone find the decisive edge right now?
IQ Simple has the pulse bomb. Can that be what helps him turn it around if he can get a nice stick? Oh, he does take out the Junkrat.
Yep, and it's getting traded out though. Hunter swinging away. The res coming through. Shatter does get dropped. Diva Bomb, desperation time, catches two. Maybe this is winnable. Shuya trying to do their damnedest. IQ Simple on the Doomfist. Yeah, it's just Yuki on. Yeah, it was just Yuki on point, and it's unfortunate they weren't able to turn that, even though it looked winnable.
Yeah, but they did. They got that time bank down a lot. I mean, it looked like Team Rocket, they were gonna cap with like 2 minutes left, but an excellent job there to keep staggering in. That, you know, I thought maybe they could have turned it around there by taking out Xlar with the pulse bomb. IQ Simple there, trying his best. It's just tough. He wasn't able to quite find those picks on the Tracer, and came back on Doomfist. Kind of got caught out of position. I was spectating him, and he just kind of. It was unfortunate. He almost like accidentally used the payload to like fling himself over the wall that leads down to the earlier part of point C. So he was kind of out of that fight for a second, but still winnable for the Taters. I mean, that 13 seconds, you know, obviously completing Dorado is always a good thing, but definitely a beatable time bank as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the big factors of that attack, especially at the end, that end little, I guess, long sightline, was Widow just didn't die, just had no pressure. No one was challenging the Widow, and every time they attempted to, they had to grapple off a cooldown. So we'll see if maybe this time they can deal with PowerPoint's Widow just a little bit better. Maka staying on that Sombra, hoping for some nice flanks here. As we do see a pretty similar composition ran from Taters here. IQ on that Doomfist yet again. Although we do see Orisa Zarya, kind of an interesting change up here. PowerPoint with a shot on Damaka. Yeah, like someone said in Twitch chat, back perhaps, you know? As IQ Simple finding PowerPoint, they're still pushing this cart. It still could be winnable. Shuya with a nice nade onto Hunter and a few others. This is still very close to being winnable. Catch the Mercy. And Shuya yet again with a nice nade. May haven't used the ice block just to survive and stay alive. They are going to cap that with a very sloppy fight from both teams.
And yeah, I don't like the Orisa Zarya. I think it's just a tank comp that just doesn't make a lot of sense, because you want to play close with the Zarya, but you want to play at range with the Orisa, and you know you don't want the Orisa taking constant damage, so the bubbles on the Orisa kind of are useless. I'm glad they're sticking more to the Ryan Zarya comp and committing more to a brawl. Not PowerPoint, going to be on the McCree now. We'll see if they can stop the momentum here from the Taters.
Yeah, and as Twitch chat pointed out, Shuya did absolute numbers on that attack. 2 Bionade kills as well as a few others. Nice sleep as well, but Shuya getting pinned out instantly. Scratch what I said. Good plays, but gonna get killed. A nice shatter though, catching 4 on the ground. I mean, it looked losable. It looked very losable, but somehow Tater's able to clutch it up with some good plays.
Yeah, Red Kitty just finding that nice shatter. You know, BX Hunter, one of the best main tanks in Tier 3 last season. It's always a tough battle, but Red Kitty definitely getting the edge there. That was a great play. Now they have 5 minutes. I mean, we're talking about a huge time bank advantage. I mean, Maka's got the EMP. They might try an EMP bomb here. I mean, they could possibly snowball point C as well.
Yep, there's the EMP bomb. Catches 3 people. What an absolutely massive combo. IQ Simple following up on that with a nice uppercut slam combo.
And it's good that they only use those 2 ults, because we do have a lot of ults coming online for Team Rocket. They're probably going to be able to stabilize here, but it depends on how many ults Taters force out of them.
Yep, and Nano getting mitigated with a shatter and a pin. High Noon coming through. Not catching much. IQ Simple getting that meteor strike kill actually, and they're able to turn that fight. Looked kind of shaky there. Yet again, turning many losable fights. Riptire coming through. Maybe it can catch one. No, it does not. It's looking like this is going to be a cap right here. No one can touch.
Oh, they do get a touch. And the sound barrier, that's massive, but Red Hood Kitty has another shatter.
And it catches a few people on the ground. It's just and the 3 others. Can they focus fire like they did on Temple of Anubis and kill these low HP characters? Healy falling super low. It's just Xlar, and it's not going to be enough. They do manage to cap.
Yeah, they have the monstrous time bank advantage here. This is looking real good for Taters, and once again, like the focus fire definitely starting to clean up there. That was a lot better. And one thing I will point out for Team Rocket though is I think they initiated with too many ults there. They kind of popped about 3 ultimates at once. Taters were able to easily kite all of those, including especially the High Noon from that PowerPoint. He wasn't in a particularly great position to get a lot of value out of that one. Red Hood Kitty just had to hold up the shield. So, you know, this is what kind of happens sometimes when you're getting reverse swept. You maybe use one too many ultimates that you shouldn't, and that, you know, that can end up leading to, you know, just tiny mistakes that end up costing you the map. Obviously, it's not over if Team Rocket's able to get a nice push, even if they're able to maybe like push the payload like past Fountain here on point A. I think they could have a chance, but right now I think their first thing is they need to find a team comp right off the bat that works and try and get this point snowballing.
Yep, we do see a Zenyatta with a Echo, it seems like, and a Mercy. So double bird composition. Interesting. Yuki playing this off-angle high ground. Torbjorn and Ash on the opposite side. Yuki already right off the bat with a kill onto the Zenyatta, getting rezzed obviously. And they're running into a lot of damage onto these birds, so it'll be interesting to see how they're able to counter the Ashe and the Torbjorn turret as well. And how they're able to keep the Zen alive. Nice nade and the dynamite onto Hunter. And the dynamite actually burning Xlar to death, so there's one bird gone. It's now up to PowerPoint just on his own to try to burn down or spam down Taters. As the ball comes through, and IQ Simple catching PowerPoint right there. Valkyrie does get popped. Nice nano catching Xlar with the pin. I mean, this is just not GG, but GR. As Hunter, the final one to fall. Yuki with that remake kill. Oh no.
If they could have gotten a little bit further, I think they would have a chance. Now they might have to start off going for a close hold. It's gonna be tough here for Team Rocket, and it was unfortunate. You know, they try to commit to the double birds, but Maka's on the Torb and IQ Simple's on the Ashe, and IQ Simple playing really well on the Ashe there, taking care of the birds. Just a lot of players for this Taters team really stepping up right now. Like, it's looking pretty good, and I don't know how much of it has been Shoya coming in to play some support, but they have looked excellent so far here. Definitely, you know, making me look a little good for, you know, saying that this guy's been underrated for so long, and he was one of the best supports last season. And, you know, we'll see. Obviously, it might be playing more tank this season just for SR purposes, but if, you know, they come in and play a map or two every series on support, you know, that's going to be huge for this team, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna. I mean, it's possible to full hold this, right? I mean, we've seen it many times on, you know, Overwatch League and even in other leagues, as well as Oasis a couple of times, perhaps. Dorado, especially that archway, can be super tricky. Although, Taters does just have so much time. It's going to be super difficult. And both teams running that Sombra, PowerPoint, and Maka respectively. They're hoping that they can build an EMP super fast and just stall them out here, or you find some hack targets. Not confident in the Sombra, only because you will be losing that that fight up front. And a nice nade from Shuya. That is just absolutely massive. That's 3. But Xlar catching Red Hood Kitty, staving off that aggressive opportunity.
A nice ante from Professor Oak as well. He hasn't been playing the Ana as much lately, but definitely to less value that Shoya is. But if they can possibly get, swing the Ana battle in their favor, that could be huge for Team Rocket turning this around.
Yep, Shatter gets blocked, but the Nano does come through onto the Rhine. Yuki getting DMAC'd right here. A nice nade, forcing them to back off a little bit. And we'll see if they can... Oh, they catch Hunter, and the Shatter comes through, catches 4 on the ground. IQ simple. EMP comes out as well. Not capitalizing too much off of it. And a nade from both teams. It's just absolutely massive. Can they kill Haley? They do. And off the back of heroic plays from both Maka and Shuya, they're able to win this out. Nice sleeps as well.
Yeah, I thought they were going to wait for that EMP bomb, but a great shatter from Red Hood Kitty, and Maka's like, I'm going to press the go button right now, no use in holding on to it when I can probably build up, 1 or 2 more if this doesn't work. So they felt like that was their win condition. Emmy building up the rally as well. That was kind of the finisher there, and yeah, here we go. We're heading to a map 5. Can Taters get the first reverse sweep of the season?
Oh, look at that, Yuki, 44, Yulin, 66, only 3 away from the perfect number.
Yes.
But
maybe,
I mean,
maybe
yeah, you
next
said
map.
it. Yeah, hopefully next map. You said it. I mean, it was just a combination of a lot of things that were able to, turn that fight into Tater Tots' favor. Yeah, like I said, you got the EMP, the nice nades as well, sleeps too from Shuya. I mean, those were some pretty nasty sleeps, as well as rally, like you said, to finish that off. And now, with it being 2-2, is Team Rocket out of it? Like you got to ask that question. Are they mentally done at this point?
And it's just brutal considering you think back to how close they were to winning that game on Temple of Anubis there. That's definitely a tough pill to swallow, I think, for Team Rocket. Granted, they did win on the control map, and that's why a lot of times reverse sweeps are tough to come by, because usually the team that started off 2-0 won the control map right off the bat. So it's going to be up to the Tater Tots to make the adjustments that they need to make between Lijiang Tower and Ilios, and we'll see if they can get this win.
Yeah, I mean, Team Rocket did win the first control map, so obviously, that's a you're going back to a control, so if you're Team Rocket, you're feeling a little bit better about where you're going. But then again, Lijiang is pretty different compared to Ilios. Ilios is one of those weird kind of control maps where it doesn't play like the rest of them, to be honest. And yeah, in case you guys have just joined in, it is now 2-2. Tater Tots winning 2 in a row. They were down 0-2, so possible reverse sweep on our hands, Twitch chat does make a good point. Do you keep this roster if you're Tater Tots? Like I said,
I mean, they didn't between Anubis and Dorado, so Personally, I think this is the best they've looked tonight with this roster right now. I think all these players are really hot right now. I think they just need to stay in. For Team Rocket, I would go back to what you were running on the first map. I'd bring in not PowerPoint to play the Hog again. I think it was Xlar and
Moosh and Barry.
I don't think Barry was in for that first map. I'm trying to think of the other DPS. Oh yeah, it was Haley on DPS in the first map. I think if they wanna, they looked really good on those sim comps right off the bat. So I think if they want to go back to the hog sim stuff, I think that would be a great way to possibly swing the momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, that's I think that's what they really need at this point, because obviously mentals. Going up 2-0 and then losing two in a row. There has to be some sort of mental struggle. Whether they may not say it outright, but comms may be a little quieter, and just synergy is all off. But bringing back what worked may be the key, and we do see Haley coming back on the DPS, Moosh back on that support. Although Barry does come in instead of PowerPoint.
Yeah, and and let's see the other lineup. It is the same. So, Tater Tots gonna ride or die with this team comp. I think that is the correct decision. Most other players have had decent playtime. I think all the others have gotten at least 2 maps. Can't remember. Maybe Molotov only got 1, but well, sometimes it's just one of those things when you're in the midst of a reverse sweep. You definitely want to keep those players that are hot in.
Yeah, and now that we have the lineups,
Oh, actually, we're gonna see Cat come in instead of and.
Also, change the map to.
Oh, yep, Lijiang. Yep, that is correct.
That's the strat going in. Just focused on PowerPoint makes it tough for Team Rocket. That's what Twitch chat is saying, and that's a good point. I mean, look at how much value PowerPoint was getting at the start of Temple of Anubis, as well as the attack on their first attack on Dorado. PowerPoint gets those picks, gets that momentum, it just snowballs. But then Tater Tots they dedicate resources into focusing PowerPoint down, and it just switches the entire momentum of the game. That's absolutely correct.
And that's a lot of the times the strategy to beating this Team Rocket, even back when they were Valhalla. I mean, PowerPoint definitely one of the best DPS players we have in Tier 3, and he's showing it once again tonight. Absolutely great performance. But yeah, some of the concerns I think from week 1, the lack of maybe good team compositions and good synergy, I think they're rearing their ugly heads a little bit. It looked good on the first 2 maps, but I think it was more good because Tater Tots' team synergy wasn't as good. So now Taters have made the adjustments. They've they've improved in that aspect. Now, you have to find those good team comps and team synergy even against a team that also is doing that. So, and if they're not going to be able to do that, it's going to be tough for them to win a lot of games and be a true championship contender. I think, it's still very early on in the season, but I do think this map 5 might tell us a lot about this Team Rocket team. I think Tater Tots have already, so far they've shattered my expectations, and I think they can come away with this even if they don't get the win. They can at least be, relatively satisfied that they had a good performance, had a good comeback attempt for Team Rocket. I think this is a really important win for them.
Yeah, like you said, it will be very telling of Team Rocket if they do if they do lose this. You would have a lot of questions and concerns. You have the players and the roster, but you know, maybe the synergy, the communication is off. You know, maybe you'd have to address that moving forward. I mean, even then, like, I would still address those issues because, you know, you're up. It's looking pretty dominant, you know, 2-0, and you know, from there, it just seems to have, you know, collapsed. So something is amiss for Team Rocket, but you know, maybe they can stave off this reverse sweep attempt from Tater Tots. Again, we're just waiting on the readies, and yeah, we have the lineups already.
Both of the games that I've commentated so far this season have gone to map 5, which I'm always happy to commentate map 5s. I think they're super exciting, and you know, obviously still early in the season, but again, like I said, a lot of implications here. You know, I think Tater Tots get the victory here. They're actually like showing like, hey, we're a legitimate team here. You know, if Team Rocket's not able to get the win, you know, definitely some question marks for them.
Yep, and also want to point out that you know, you said reverse sweeps haven't been really a thing this season, but also
Well, still early. This is only the 7th game we've played this season, so
yeah, but also like not last season. Obviously, we had a lot last season, but the season before. So you know, maybe we get that repeat action of this season. I hope so, because you know, everyone loves seeing a good reverse sweep. That's always one of the most entertaining things to watch, is seeing a team struggle and then come back. It's kind of a mini redemption arc in on itself.
okay, it looks like we're actually going to see one more swap. We're actually going to see that they do want Professor Oak in for this last map. Going to replace Cat once again, so they're pretty committed to Moosh at least.
Yeah. Seems like only Team Rocket is making last minute subs. Maybe the uncertainty is still there. You know, the doubts in their head that they can clutch this up. It's a little concerning, but you know, all the question marks will be answered shortly.
Yep, and here we go. We're heading into it. Map 5. The other time we saw, or the other map 5 that I commentated only went to the second round. It was a pretty one-sided affair, but we did see the Pizza Planet Boomers game go to the map 5 round 3, so we'll see if that happens here again.
Yeah, and starting off, we got Night Market. I always forget the specific names of these, but yeah, Night Market is the first point to capture. See what the teams opt to run here. Still waiting on that, but what do you think about Night Market? What strats do you want to see?
I was gonna say, I feel like you have to run Sim here as Team Rocket. I mean, it worked so well on Ilios, bringing back the Roadhog as well. You know, it's tough. I'm always one to, you know, criticize teams for staying on a comp if it doesn't work, and you know, sim comps are certainly an interesting story of if you want to stay on them for very long if you lose the first fight. But I do think that this is the best look that they've shown so far today, and I think they should really try and win the game with these sim hog comps.
Yep, and both teams setting up that TP, although it's looking like Taters was struggling a bit. They are going to be running into these turrets first, just like it was on Ilios, and Maka already falling. That's a lot of damage gone, although Hunter and IQ Simple turn in the fight. Will it be enough? Red Hood Kitty yet again finding another. Getting traded out, Barry Sackman finding one. Falling super duper low. PowerPoint is the only one left, as well as the Symmetra. Although, they got the respawns coming through. That TP is still being an absolute terror to deal with. Let's see who ends up winning this fight. It's still, no one has capped yet. They might give this one up and back up.
Oh wow, we actually are gonna see the cap coming out from Team Rocket, and again, that's huge because this is exactly what they want. They want to play on the point. They want to get these hooks on players that go too aggressive, and if they can make this work, you know, it'll be up to Taters to see if they can change their play style to limit the advantages that we see coming from Taters.
Yep, a huge shatter right off the rip. And it's just going to be pushing them back even further into their spawn. Nice hook and a trap as well. These are some pretty big staggers. Hopefully IQ Simple does not get caught out. Shuya does though.
And that's huge. They won that, you know, second fight there with just the shatter. So they're coming up. Both DPS ults online. I mean, their support ults are right there as well. We'll have to see. I mean, this is definitely exactly what Team Rocket need right now, is if they can get that decisive victory here on Night Market with the comp that brought them success in the first two maps, that'll be huge to getting them back into this game and hopefully getting their mental back up as well.
Shatter comes down, doesn't catch anything. Actually, Red Hood Kitty falls. Coalescence being popped as well as the whole hog. They are going to be losing out this fight, but I do like the comp that they switched to. It's not too late into the round. Switched onto the Pharah.
Yeah, not a bad swap. Although this definitely is a tricky point to tack sometimes as a Pharah. This would definitely be a better strategy if you were on Gardens.
Yeah, and Red Hood Kitty falls yet again. They're gonna have to find a touch here. Shuya does get shattered, but nice peel from Yuki right there, although Enemy Mouse falls. IQ Simple gets a kill on the Barry Sackman with a punch and the Meteor Strike on the PowerPoint.
Oh.
IQ Simple's starting to get on his own. Shuya with the anti-nade.
No
this is
way.
Absolutely insane plays from Diana and IQ Simple.
Unreal play. I mean, that is exactly what the Taters needed there. They didn't really have much of an ult advantage, and they get it done. IQ Simple with the great initiation gets a kill with the Meteor Strike. Yeah, not breathe new life, and you know, these are the type of things that maybe start to get back to booming Team Rocket as well. You were so close once again. They do have two high impact DPS ults coming online though. They definitely have a chance.
Yep, they initiate with the wall TPing right onto them. A nice pin and an anti-nade from Shuya. That is absolutely massive. Does fall and pay for it though. Although Moosh falls. Maka, the 2K with the barrage. They're winning in the numbers. But Barry Sackman saying not just yet. Catching two. Can they find these crucial picks?
Oh no, Maka's still alive, survived with like 1 health. Barry Sackman was trying to shoot at the Pharah, but obviously not the ideal player to be going for that. And yeah, Haley's gonna swap to the McCree. They're maybe getting a little off their comfort zone here, but PowerPoint has that tire. That could be the winner for them here for Team Rocket.
Yeah, and now if your Team Rocket is looking a bit shaky. It was looking very one-sided. We'll see what they can do on this push. They got a few ultimates to work with. Coalescence engaged, perhaps a shatter though. That is absolutely insane. The PowerPoint with the 2K tire. They are missing a tank though, so it may not be just one yet for Tater Tots. Nope, it's not. Team Rocket though. Caps, it's 99 to 92. Can anyone touch? It's up to Maka, and it's up to Yuki. They do fall. And now it's just up to oh my gosh, the double mine from PowerPoint. The shatter as well onto Emmy. It's looking all lost right here. Very close. Although a few staggers do come in. Staggers the stall heroes. Red Hood Kitty and Shuyo do fall though, and it's all for naught. Very close right there.
And it's really unfortunate. Yuki threw the bomb, and they tried to throw it through the window there towards the top of point, but I think it got caught and it didn't get the impact, I mean, the way it was going, it looked like it was going to fall right in the middle of a shieldless Team Rocket team that actually could have been, like, a massive ult if it hadn't gotten caught on the window there. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I saw.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I think I saw that happen as well. Could have been absolutely massive, you know, perhaps 4K, because everyone was just caught out, you know, especially with Hunter not being there to shield that. But ooh, we do see a
Doomfist battle here, PowerPoint versus IQ Simple. Both definitely known for some of the best Doomfists we have in Tier 3.
Yep, and IQ Simple already right off the bat catching the Mei. And that is a nice attempt from IQ Simple, but he does fall. Does pay for that rollout. Both Doomfists though falling, as well as both Meis. Taters though does have the point presence, so they do have the positional advantage. Hunter though swinging away at Red Hood Kitty, gonna be falling. IQ Simple though, punching away the Moira. The flick does come through actually, so this is nice. If they can, if they lose this fight, just stall it out as long as possible. Maybe Shuya and Emmy can just stall. The beat just gets dropped from really high up.
They're actually gonna commit ults here. If for no other reason than it gets ults out of Team Rocket. They actually get 2 high impact ults out of Team Rocket. That's not bad, and they're still stalling.
Yep, and it actually catches Hunter. So maybe it's all part of the plan, you know, just stall it out as much as they can. IQ Simple falling eventually, so the cap should go the way of... Oh,
I mean, I was trying to get there, dang. We'll get taken down. I gotta be honest, I'm not 100% sure if that was too worth it for Taters. They're coming up on their DPS ults, but so is Team Rocket. They really only got the Grav and the Sound Barrier out, and they ended up trading 3 of their ults for basically just like 2 of Team Rocket. So I you know, obviously they get 34%, which is kind of what they were looking for, but we'll see.
Yep, and here comes the Coalescence, as well as the Blizzard for the side of Tater, so we'll see. No one gets frozen in that. A nice grab, but the Blizzard does come down and negate most of that damage. Red Hood Kitty does fall. Here comes the Meteor Strike. Looking, and does not catch anything other than a little bit of Hunter. Nice by IQ Simple. Shuya actually catching Hunter right here. So maybe it is turnable if they can just pull it together. Grab though. And yeah, it's looking like it's going in favor of Team Rocket yet again.
Oh, they're gonna commit the sound oh no, I don't know about the sound barrier commit here. I definitely would have maybe hung on to that, and oh man, I think Taters need to regroup like right now. Like, this isn't good. They're possibly staggering themselves into final team fight territory.
Yeah, this has been quite sloppy from them. If they had the point, then maybe I understand the sound barrier stalling it out and stuff, but now it's final fight territory perhaps. And Red Hood Kitty does get, Maka does get the hack onto the enemy Zarya. Beat does get dropped though, so it's going to be saving a few people. Here comes the bomb! Grab and Blizzard being used. All the ults are being dumped, and it's looking like it will not be enough for Taters to win. It will be Team Rocket coming up with the clutch at the end.
And yeah, great job to come back. Again, I'm glad that they went with the Hog and the Sim on the first point, go back to what they were comfortable with. But I was actually thinking that this point was going to favor the Taters, but no, Barry Sackman comes in on the Zarya. He plays really well, so many great grabs. Man, IQ Simple was doing his best, and you know, I'm not going to lie, I'm thinking about, you know, obviously we'll see what the teams nominate, but man, I think IQ Simple was really playing well tonight, and I think, even though he's on the losing side, I think he deserves the DPS MVP for the night.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, we do have to see nominations, of course, but IQ Simple, definitely my front runner right now.
But we'll
Um,
see what the other teams or what the teams want to nominate.
yes, and will we be doing interviews or not? That is the question. So now, we wait on nominations as well as, if people do want to come for interviews, that's cool. If not, understandable. Have a nice day.
It's always kind of interesting. Like map five's kind of a long one. Maybe some people are ready to go, but also teams are fired up. It's a close game. Definitely want to share their thoughts as well. So we'll see. I would love to get some interviews in here.
Yeah, if we do give IQ Simple that MVP, I do want to give an honorable mention to PowerPoint as well, because
Yeah, he was like his usual self. He was great once again.
I mean that Widow play nasty,
Oh
as
yeah,
well
for
as
sure.
we saw a little bit of the Pharah, I believe, or was it the Echo?
I think they played a little bit of both at some point.
Yeah, I remember the Pharah from PowerPoint was actually quite nice as well.
And I'm almost tempted to give Tank MVP to Barry Sackman. I think he really did like make the difference on those two maps that he was in. Like I, when I look at a lot of the other tanks that played tonight, I don't know if I quite see the single player impact, but Barry Sackman, I mean, just textbook Roadhog gameplay on Hollywood, and then a great Zarya to close out there. Obviously, a lot of different tank compositions for this Team Rocket team, but I think Barry Sackman had a great performance tonight.
Yeah, I mean the only other tanks I would consider is Hunter, obviously, plays all the maps and a very consistent Rhine. But another shout out would be Red Hood Kitty, because I mean you basically have a support player playing Reinhardt, and actually a couple of times, maybe you could say MTD, especially on Dorado and a little bit of Lijiang. A couple of times was getting the better of Hunter. And as for support, this is one that I'm not too sure. You had a lot of support players coming in and out. Uh, you got to consider Moosh, obviously.
Yeah, I know. I was actually considering Moosh as well. I thought, you know, obviously, Moosh is a five right now. So, and I thought she actually did play pretty well, making some nice plays. Had some good sound barriers on Lucio. I actually kind of liked her BAP play there on Temple of Anubis. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of the other players, had like more high impact plays, but in terms of consistency, Moosh was always there, playing really well.
Yeah, and again, shout out to Shuya. I haven't quite got it. I just stuck with Shuya because it just rolled off the tongue better. But I mean, coming in on support on those last couple maps definitely was one of the one of the more high impact players. I mean, hitting some nasty sleep darts, uh, setting up anti nades that allowed the team to capitalize on you know the mitigation of healing. So some very good plays coming from Shuya as well.
And we do get some nominations from Taters, and it is going to be PowerPoint and Rappy, so a couple of DPS MVPs. So yeah, like could you and we did see the nomination from Team Rocket onto Shoya as well. Maybe instead of IQ Simple tonight, we could give it to the um, to one of the DPS of Team Rocket and maybe give it to Shoya perhaps, or I'm definitely, this one's definitely a tough one tonight. I got to be honest. I don't think there was a whole lot. I feel like I'm pretty set on, for me, on Barry Sackman getting tank MVP personally. I just think he had too high of
Yeah,
impact on the two maps that he played to deny it from him.
yeah, I would agree with that. You know, again, you could argue Hunter, Kitty, but Barry did have on those two control, not control, but the two maps. Lijiang and uh, I believe it was Blizzard World where
Yep.
they play tank. They provided lots of great value, especially on Lijiang there with those grabs at the end. Um, Not whiffing a single one there, so and also catching plenty of people without support ults. I mean that's just perfect. That's what you need if you're a Zarya player. So yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, this is tough. I'm either thinking I want to try and give you obviously could give two to Taters if we wanted to give it to IQ Simple and Shoya, but I don't know what are you feeling on this support and MVP discussion
Mm,
right now?
you see, this is the thing about map fives and like very close matches, with reverse sweeps, very possibly lingering in our minds, is that you get some very clutch moments on certain maps and stuff the longer you play. Players have their moments, and for me personally, I think I would give PowerPoint the MVP, IQ Simple the honorable mention, and then Shuya the MVP, and
For
I
support?
mean, yeah, and
You know
then
what?
Moosh. I
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
I want to shout out Moosh too, but I do think Shoya really, I mean, came in and played, made an immediate difference. Just was excellent. Even on the map that they lost there on Lijiang, he was still making as many plays as he could. Just wasn't enough.
Yeah, and I again I do want to give another honorable mention to Moosh because I mean, like you said, for someone who is on the lower end of the total, I guess, map SR, coming in as a five, definitely did not play as a five. Uh, I didn't look at the lineups and rosters beforehand, so I had no clue. But to me, looking at that gameplay, it definitely did not seem like a five. Seemed more like a 8 to 10 range.
Yeah, and then Moosh was solid last year as well. I think at least one MVP in there, I think, at some point. But yeah, definitely a really nice person to have for this Team Rocket team. But
Yeah,
if you're feeling not PowerPoint and Shoya, and then obviously we pretty much agreed on Barry Sackman for tank. I think I'm good with that.
yeah, I'm fine with that as well. It seems right. I don't know. Um,
Well,
but I believe there's no interviews
no,
tonight.
no, we did have BX Hunter and Haley wanted to come in, so let's go ahead. We will invite them right now. Ooh, I can actually not invite Haley. Might be in a group.
I managed to invite them. Okay, now we're waiting on Hunter to join the voice chat. Come on, you got this.
Must still be in team chat.
Hello?
Yep, there he is,
Yeah,
BX
sorry, I
Hunter.
was
There
stuck
you
in
go.
team chat.
That's all
Well,
good.
how's it going, BX Hunter?
That was a close. That ended up being a lot closer than we thought, but it was a good game. It was really fun.
Yeah, congratulations on getting the map 5 victory, avoiding the reverse sweep. There we go, there's Rav coming
Yeah.
in here. Better say that to her. Congratulations, Rav, on the victory today.
Oh, thank you.
My first question for you guys, and what I typically open up with in these interviews is going into this game against Tater Tots, what were you looking for? What specific matchups, what compositions were you thinking of running? What did you think they were going to run? What types of strategies did you have coming in?
Um, I can start that if you want.
Yeah.
So from their last game, they pretty much ran a lot of like the Rhine, like Diva Rhine Zarya comp. So I kind of figured that was going to be coming in. Um, a big change. This was like our first game without Brow. He was obviously out, so we were definitely changing up the off tank role tonight, having everyone come in, and playing what they felt good with, and really worked. Power's a freak, Barry's a freak, Haley's a freak. It's pretty fun. They're a good team. Um, there wasn't as many people from like there isn't much game footage for Tater Tots. They're kind of like a lot mixed match players, but IQ Simple, he's a pretty good one from We the Ops last season, so it's not too shocking to see him blowing things up as Doomfist again.
Anything to add, Haley, to that?
If I'm being honest, this was the one game that like I think our little captain's chat yesterday we were talking, we're like, shoot, I don't think we've scrimmed them at all in the off season.
I
So
knew
we were
nothing
like,
about
what
this
are they
team.
gonna
Yeah.
do? What are they gonna play? What's going on? Like all we had is their game last week to really look at.
Mhm.
So we were just like, all right, well, we'll just make our own team comps to our strengths and then hope it works out okay. And I think we did okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then, my next question for you guys is, obviously, you start off getting up 2-0, then almost falling victim to the reverse sweep. What do you think was the difference there between the first two maps and the last two maps?
I gotta say it. We I think we spoke it to existence partially. That's our fault. We were trying to play a prank on our Brow. We were like, oh
Our
shoot,
team rep.
we gotta tell him like we're tanking it, like we're doing so bad, And we're like,
'Cause
no,
he's
no,
at
we
work.
can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's at work. We want to play a prank on him, and then we're like, no, let's tell him we got reverse swept. And then the third map happens, and we're like, oh God.
Oh no, yeah, might have rattled you a little bit.
I know. We're glad at least at that point for bringing it back, but I mean, map 3 and 4 were incredibly close, and
Yes, they
now
definitely
we're
were.
learning that. Yeah, we're learning that Tater Tots are they're not afraid to stall.
Yeah, the stall game is
That'll
ridiculous.
be.
Yeah.
It was insane, and it won them those maps. So it's we did our best to what we could, and then it came down to alt usage, and then just not trying to get our foot back up, and it didn't work, but we live and learn.
Anything to add, Hunter?
No, I definitely agree with that. I really feel that Anubis game for sure could have gone either way, with the defenses on that and their stalls. But just trying to get into the swing of things. This is a good team. I didn't feel rattled throughout, even as we went down those two maps, maps 3 and 4. Just feeling comfortable with it. I knew if we went to Lijiang, I feel so confident on that map, so I wasn't like too nervous even if we went to the map 5 and it worked out in our favor. But they're a good team. This is not a team to be slept on. They are 1-1 now, just like us. So they'll definitely be a team that I'm sure we'll see later on down the
Yeah,
line.
possibly in the postseason. Yeah, that'd be a
Yeah.
good rematch. Just two more questions for you. What if we're
Uh-huh.
going to like at least for me, I'll send it over to my co-commentator if he has any questions. But in terms of like shot calling and communication aspect, who would you say was the MVP for tonight? Who do you think is one of the driving forces behind that?
I think it's like all of us. I think we're like are pretty vocal. Like we play together all the time. Like I trust all these people. Um, I try to be as vocal as I can, especially playing all 5 maps, trying to main tank and be the front of the line. I try to calm as much as I can, but I think it's a collective effort for us. It's not just, one person. I don't know if Haley has someone in mind for it, but
I would say you did a good job this whole game, especially being
thanks.
main tank. You
That's what I was thinking of. I
I
didn't
know you
want to
didn't
say
want to
it.
say like, oh yeah, I'm totally the shot caller. No, yeah, I would say called most of the shots, and then obviously the rest of the team would address certain things coming off, and then depending on the map too was
Yeah.
the big one. Like it's really easy to follow up on calls when it's brawly. Those first two, the first and the last map was like just play together and we're good, and
hmm
we follow up on the callouts. But the rest was like, all right, what are we gonna do here? Who's flanking? Who's going where? So it's a mix between, I would say, VX Hunter and then words that were needing the extra help.
And for my final question, I always usually do this one as my last question as well. Looking ahead to week 3, you guys got prestigious noobs on the itinerary. What are you looking forward to in that game?
They kind of surprised me last week with their gameplay. We've scrimmed them a bunch, and they're definitely like improved as the off season's gone along. They're a pretty new team, so them doing well is not like surprising, but they did a lot better than I honestly expected. So I'm excited to see what they end up doing this week. But it should be a fun one. I think we're just trying to get. It's going to be such a short season with games every week. It's kind of just like coming at us like very quickly. So it's honestly just getting back into it. We'll look at this game on the maps that we did lose and just go from there. Play our style and know that we'll come out on top.
Okay, Mr. CB, you got questions for them?
I'll be completely honest. You kind of said everything I was gonna say, including the last question. But I do want to say, excellent match tonight, guys. I mean,
Thanks,
of course, it's very exciting to see the map 5 possible reverse sweep, but that clutch moment where y'all just all came together was just very exciting to see, and I hope to cast more and see more of you guys play in the future.
If you guys want to
Thanks.
know who won the MVPs tonight, I don't know if anyone posted it in the match chat. PowerPoint got the DPS MVP.
Oh yeah,
Barry Sackman.
it's a freak.
Yeah, I know he is.
Also a
Oh,
freak.
nice.
Barry Sackman got the tank MVP. We just felt like even though he only played 2 maps, like those 2 maps, he was just having such a high impact. And then we were considering giving Moosh the support MVP as well, but then we did settle on giving it to Shoya, who you guys nominated.
Breaking our
So
heart. Breaking
I
our
know.
heart.
I just
Give him Moosh the honorable mention, though.
we were.
Install, but honorable
Oh
mention.
man.
I think we'll keep it.
Well,
Keep her for
okay.
another day.
Yeah, we had a couple honorable mentions, a lot of good players tonight. But thank you guys for coming in to interview.
Thanks, guys.
And
Thanks for casting.
yeah, again, good game tonight, and good luck next week.
Yeah, good luck to you.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, and I don't know if we ever heard back from.
No, they all left the lobby. But silence speaks volumes. They obviously thought it was winnable, took the loss to heart. I mean, you play so close, you get very passionate about the game. It's understandable. But yeah, in any case, I think that's gonna do it for us. This has been me, CB, here with Kirby, and this has been tier 3, week 2, Tater Tots versus Team Rocket. Team Rocket
wait.
clutching up. What?
Wait, hold on. Yuki might want to do an interview.
Ooh.
Sorry, I know this stream has gone on a while, but I do want to make sure if anyone wants to interview. Okay, Xavier is gonna say no. Yuki Ishida's typing.
Let us see.
Okay. Let's go ahead and invite. You. Hopefully I have them. Ooh.
Oh, Shoyo might want to join as well.
Oh.
Shoyo and
3
Yuki
minutes.
3-minute stall, baby. Yeah, Shoya wanted to come in.
Okay, we'll bring in Disco. Hopefully again.
Red Hood Kitty. Like a mother. Okay, they're asking for invites.
I cannot invite them. They are not on the... There we go.
Hello.
Hello, Shoya, aka Disco. How is
What's
it
up,
going?
baby?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, no, it was a very good performance. Great job on bouncing back after a rough first 2 maps and bringing it to a map 5. We're still waiting for Yuki,
Yeah,
and I want to...
I told you to add me real quick, and I'll invite her to the group.
But a question for you right off the bat is how are you enjoying your new team? Obviously, you just got signed to Tater Tots very recently, and how has that been going so far? Also, I am echoing, by the way, so.
Oh, that might be me. Hold on. Is that better?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, you're
Alright.
good.
So it's been fun. Me and Xavier, we've known each other for a while. So when he asked me to, come and join and come and just see how I like the team, I came. Funny enough, me and IQ trialed on like the same day. Like we both just happened to show up to the same trial.
Yeah, I know.
So
I was kind of hoping it was gonna be you and IQ Simple coming in for the interview. Former teammates on We the Ops, now teammates on Tater Tots. So
it was funny seeing him there. It was a shock, and I was like, "Oh, what's up, man?" We did our little banter back and forth. But the team, it's been really fun playing with these guys. They're all really good. It feels good getting to flex onto that tank support kind of role for this team, and I think it's only going to go up from here.
And we did see Yuki come in. Hello.
Sorry.
No, you're good. And like I said to Shoya, it was unfortunate, couldn't get the victory, but great job bouncing back after a rough first 2 maps, almost getting the reverse sweep. Definitely, proven to a lot of people that you're a team not to be messed with. I think a lot of people did have question marks about this team. It was really only you, Yuki, and Isbelia coming back from last season, but it does look like you guys have built up a nice team, and that's actually my first question for you. How has this the process of this offseason been so far, and kind of rebuilding this team almost from the ground up?
Tough. If I had to sum up in one word, it's tough. See, unfortunately, with the team that we had last season, it pretty much locked me personally, to only being able to play healing. But now with the whole new rotation, I am now obviously free to play, as you've seen from a few more different roles, and I've been able to kind of like help fill in what we haven't got. But at the moment, no, we're doing well. We've picked up a fair few really good people, and we are. I think it's just because we're also kind of like in that process of melding in, finding comps that all of us with the new players comfortable with. We're still not quite fully balanced on that, but we're doing really well, and I think we're adapting really fast to the real sudden changes.
Yeah, so far a really good start to the season, getting the win over Cosmic Omnics, and then having a close game against a very high quality team in Team Rocket. I think there's a lot to look forward to. So, speaking of Team Rocket, what were the types of things going in this match that you were gonna be kind of looking for, and matchups you were hoping to exploit, and people you were thinking you're gonna have focus, or stuff like that?
Well, we came into this knowing that PowerPoint was going to be an issue. I'm going to say that flat out. We knew this. We were expecting him to be on Hog a lot more than we were on the Widow. So as you probably guys saw during, I think it was Dorado, we couldn't get the contest off as well as we wanted to. Like, I switched personally to Diva to dive in, but I ended up being stuck behind the payload because the team was pressuring us so hard. And they were doing very well to keep PowerPoint alive the majority of the time.
Yeah, I mean that's like he's such a win condition for them that that's definitely what they want to do. How about you, Disco? Anything that you were looking for specifically?
Not nothing specifically, but just I know this team pretty well. I've played with them before. I almost joined them last season after I had left We the Ops, back when they were Valhalla, and it was I played with them a good amount. I know how they play, so it was kind of like me just thinking, having to like go in and be like, okay, I know what they're gonna do. Just trying my best not to get lost in the fray of PowerPoint doing what PowerPoint does. That was the biggest thing.
So, my next question for you is, what do you think were the big adjustments that you guys made between Blizzard World and then onto Temple of Anubis, where you started to play a lot better?
I think the biggest thing that really kind of changed everything was just once we were down, like, 2-0, we really like got into gear. We were like, we have to win this. We have to show out. We have to know what we're gonna do. And I think Anubis being, a pretty good sniping map, and we saw PowerPoint go in, we were kind of able to like, okay, we know he's gonna be running that Widow. We kind of predicted what they were gonna run, and that helped us a lot. And just we really had to look out for one another, especially on defense. It was very, very hectic, especially that second point. But we were able to communicate well, stall it out, and I think overall just the team decided that we needed to play better in order to win. That's what it was.
Yuki, what do you think the adjustments were?
The adjustments we made to come back a bit, I would personally say that we definitely capitalized more on who was low, and when we picked off who was available to be picked off, we then turned our focus onto the Widow, and we made the adjustable switches to pretty much force her off Widow. That was what we were planning to do. So we pretty much isolated our issues and counter-focused those. You might need to be removed.
Yeah. I was gonna say, okay, yep, there he goes.
Sorry about that. Yeah, but we pretty much focused what was wrong. Pretty much isolated that specific person and focused them, and that was why we fell apart on the last map. Is because we didn't counter to focus their Mei at the end, who was just freezing us left, right, and center, and we kind of heavily fell apart. I don't think we really had an answer to the Mei at that point.
So your guys' next game, looking forward to week 3, is against Sandbagging Smurfs. What are you guys looking forward to for that game?
I personally don't know much about that team. I know they're a new team to the league, but I personally have no idea what to expect from them.
That's Butt's team, right? Kirby?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's gonna be a good game. I'm looking forward to getting that little rematch with my old teammate. It's fun. It's gonna be fun to go at it with him. Especially, I'm gonna try and take advantage of that Rhine play of his. You know how it works and all that. So I think that's gonna be a good game to look forward to.
So those were all the questions that I have. Sorry if I stole them all again, Mr. CV, but if you have any for yourself, go ahead and ask them.
I just one that I had was obviously you guys played really well towards again the last you know maps 3 and 4, but it seems like you guys have had a little bit of trouble against some on the control maps. Is there anything specific you guys think you need to work on those maps?
I personally think the biggest thing on the control maps is kind of just staying together while the enemy is engaging. That's the biggest thing, and we're gonna work on our control, definitely. That's gonna be a big thing we focus on. Just, sometimes on control, especially points like Night Market, where there are a lot of entrances, the big thing that caught us off guard was when they pushed in, me and Emmy, I think was who was playing with me. We rotated outside, and PowerPoint was sitting right there and was able to tire both of us immediately, and just like stuff like that. And just being aware of all the entrances and knowing who's where at all times it's kind of hard. So I think if we focus on that and we get our map awareness a little bit and we are able to focus better on the people that are on the point as well, I think that'll help us out a lot.
Yuki, anything to add?
I'd say that we were throughout at least the first few games, we weren't really doing much to contest high ground when they were up there. So once they were up there, and they were pelting us pretty hard. So I think like definitely making sure that we have something to contest on the high ground in future would really benefit us. Even if it's something just like a ball that'll just like swing around and just push them off the high ground. But I don't know. It's personally with me, those kind of maps are what I personally struggle with. But as a team, like we are now over the next coming like days, we are going to be putting a lot of work into improving on those maps. I personally don't know what I could say we could improve on more than what we've already just said, but I would say just as an addition, like keeping track of people's ults on those maps, because as I say, the high advantage is something that we do need to focus on. And with, as we say, with the junk, all it takes is just for junk to pop his tire off the edge of a corner and just in 2K.
Yeah, no, that's really all my the only question I had. Again, I had others, but it's all good. I just want to say one last thing though. I personally enjoyed watching this one. I mean, obviously, reverse sweep's about to happen. You know, you're excited. Blood's pumping. You know, shouting, casting, all that. It was just a very awesome match to watch. You guys should be proud of yourselves. Y'all put up a really good fight.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next matches in your future. You know, hoping to see some more of these thrilling games.
Yeah, still early season, plenty more wins to get.
So,
And I just wanted to let you guys know about the MVPs. I don't know. I still don't think we've pinged them yet, but we did give DPS and tank to Team Rocket on not PowerPoint and Barry Sackman respectively. But Shoya, you did get support MVP for tonight, so great work.
I broke the curse this season, man. I thought I was gonna be cursed all season. That's good. Nah, cause like that T2 game, that broke my heart. But
Well,
I got my MVP, so
yeah,
I'll take it.
nice. Well, thank you guys for joining us again. Good to hear some insight from both teams, and good luck in your next matchup.
All right, you stay safe, Kirby. See
Yeah.
you.
Hey.
Bye, y'all.
Well,
All right.
this has been a long stream, almost 2.5 hours, I think, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a long one, but like if anyone is still around, I think anyone who started and watching from the beginning can attest that this was definitely a very entertaining match, and yeah, I guess that's where we call it here tonight. This has been me, CB, here with Kirby. Tier 3, Week 2, Tater Tots versus Team Rocket. Team Rocket getting the dub, avoiding a reverse sweep, 3-2.
And of course, don't forget, tomorrow I believe we have a pair of Tier 3 games. Let me make sure. Yes, so we have I Need Healing versus Pizza Planet and Diving Phoenix versus Boomers Are Us. So a couple of great battles there, I think. Both of those matchups have teams that are close to each other in the power rankings, at least in my opinion. So I think that's going to be, you know, we'll definitely get some more answers to where kind of the power of tier 3 lies as of right now with both of those matchups.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely looking forward to those. If you guys can tune into those, that'd be awesome. Support the stream and the Discord and stuff. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this quite long slugfest of a match. Uh, so we hope to see you guys again very shortly. And that's it for us.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Thank you.